story. It's called Jobs I've Had. The first job I ever had was doing data entry. I do not remember the data. I was 14 and the office I worked at had a soda tap with 5 different sodas, like they have in any fast food place that offers free refills. Needless to say, I thought I had it made. I worked there during the summer after my freshman year of high school. Looking back, the job was also memorable because it was the first time I was lazy on the job. I would fall asleep doing data entry. They knew. The second job I had was being in a peer education theater group. We'd go around to different high schools and do shows about safe sex, drugs, domestic violence, ejaculating while wrestling, and any other messed up topic you can associate with high school. The job was pretty cool. I got to miss school to do the shows, and I would get a stipend for performing. I would also get unlimited condoms, thanks to an awesome grant. What a win-win situation. The characters I would play in these shows were total geeks. I would often act crazy on stage and off. My behavior, combined with the fact that all the other actors were older and didn't want to deal with the 15-year-old me, really did make me feel like a geek. When I was 16, I got robbed after a rehearsal. While taking a shortcut through a playground, dudes tackled me and took my coat. They did me a solid by tossing me my asthma inhaler. As upsetting as the mugging was, I was more upset with the cast of the show. Almost all the actors were there, only they didn't get robbed, and they didn't do anything to stop me from getting robbed. After that crap happened, I didn't really care much about the theater group anymore. All those actors left me out to dry. I couldn't take them seriously. I would only do performances where they would provide food. I hope everybody in this part of the story has since learned that that behavior is not cool, or they die. The next jobs I had were part-time breaks during college. I worked as a camp counselor. That was normal. After I graduated college, I worked in a print shop in the basement of a church. I operated a printing press and other machines. We printed out the church newsletter, service programs, and other requests. My boss was a man named Eddie from the Philippines. Eddie had been deaf since age 6. When he was in his late 20s, he came to America and learned the English language without ever hearing it. This guy spoke English really well. His pronunciations were pretty much dead on. One time he told me that he had a head ouche. After he repeated this several times and got upset, I realized he was telling me he had a headache. For my birthday one year, Eddie took me to Shea Stadium for a Mets game. He got me pizza and a souvenir cup of Pepsi. When the Mets kicked serious butt in the 9th inning, Eddie looked like he was in another dimension. He told me that he could slightly hear the crowd. The most obvious perk of working for a deaf man was being able to scream whenever I pleased. Since our office was more like a cave, it was cool to take your shirt off and keep it off. The drawbacks of the job were not having windows anywhere, handling and breathing chemicals, occasional gas leaks in the building, other bosses snitching on you, encounters with water bugs, rats, and occasionally bats. Sadly, I got laid off from this job because of budget cuts. The next job I had was working as a bookseller at Borders. At first, the job was all right. I was ranked number 1 in the store for getting the most people to sign up for the Borders reward card. I got this ranking by giving everybody the card and signing people up with random email addresses to save time. Some of my favorites were Mike Tyson at gmail.com and yeahbaby@obaby.com. I would get gift cards for my good work, and the boss would shout me out during shift meetings. Eventually, a new boss came and she canned me. They said that what I was doing with the Borders reward card constituted as fraud. I enjoyed prank calling other Borders stores while on the job. My favorite ones were the ones in Cali and the ones in Puerto Rico. That's all I have to say about that job, whatever. The next job I had was as a dog walker. This job was really dumb. The boss was messed up and unprepared. She would never pay me on time. A lot of my clients were crazy. Dogs were always awesome. One time my buddy couldn't get in the house. He had the doorman open it, and the client was in there being with himself intimately. One time I went into the bathroom of one of the houses, and I clogged their toilet. These people didn't have a plunger. I did what I had to do to fix that situation. Whatever. I made sure she paid me, and I cashed out of that totally stupid situation. These days, I do theater in elementary schools. I also do sports clubs with kids. Just the other day, I showed up to run a sports club. This kid named Peter said, "Today, I'm going to call you Poopy Head and Fat Man." The Poopy Head I could handle. The Fat Man stung. I also work for a note taker during product surveys. I sit behind a two-way mirror. I spy on people, and I type what they say. I'm cool with it for now. I am trying to follow my dreams, and I recommend that everybody else do the same. Thank you.